Peace and blessings, family. This is day 78 in 100 days of healing. Thank you for sacredly presencing with me. I am happy to say that today I'm feeling 180 degrees better than yesterday. For those of you who saw yesterday's transmission, you remember that I shared that I was feeling in my experience of aloneness, some fear and some sadness. And it's so beautiful because within 1 hour of me owning that and sharing that with you, the fear and the sadness cleared. And I've just been feeling so amazing ever since the moment of the emotional honesty of sharing that with you and being in that vulnerable place of owning that. I call it sacred guts on the table when nothing is held back. And I thank you so much for the prayers that you offered. I asked you for your prayers, and I could feel the way in which you shared that helped to move the energy. So I feel that your prayer intentions for me was part of clearing and healing the energy, and also just my willingness to stand in the vulnerability of not feeling a sense of strength or wholeness or certainty in that particular moment. I remember times in my life when the words help me would almost choke in my mouth. And the ego would get in my face and say, you should be able to do it yourself. And I was independent to a fault, feeling like I had to do everything, trying to be some kind of one-man army, one-man tribe. And then I learned some things about morphing from independence to a fault to universal independence. That in universal independence, I understand that I have an unlimited number of hands and bodies through which to help myself. So I'm always doing it myself, but myself is just beyond this mere individual expression of being. And so just want to share that because I feel a lot of people get really caught in, the ego issue. I mean, have you ever had that experience where you needed help and there was a hesitation to reach out and ask for help? And the ego got in your face and said, you should be able to do this yourself. And in great truth, beloved, we're always doing it ourselves because there is no self beyond myself. So I just feel this great joy and this great victory of the willingness to be in the revealing of my feelings and to know that that there is no weakness in the revealing, of my feelings. That there is a great strength in that. Universal independence. I have an unlimited number of hands and bodies through which to be independent. And when I ask for help, I'm asking for help from all these vast facets of who I am. And when I'm in that awareness, when I need to ask for help, I don't feel shame about asking for help. It's like, oh, now I'm asking for help from this part of me. And now I'm open to being supported by that part of me. The patriarchal program has programmed us to believe that, that we're weak if we stand in our vulnerability, if we show that we feel a sense of fear or sadness or pain or worry or whatever it might be. And it was so beautiful that in the sharing there was the clearing. And I'm thinking about a time some years ago when I lost a portion of hearing in my right ear for about 10 days. And I had all these waves of fear moving through me. And I kept knowing that in my core that, well, the hearing would come back. And on the 10th day, the Most High said, listen, man, you're always online doing everything that you can to help so many people, and you have so many people experiencing transformation through your offerings. get online and ask for some help. And I did so. I got online and shared that I was going through something, that was, one of the most challenging experiences of my life because, being a sound healer and working so much with the frequency of sound, the ego got in my face and said, well, what if you go deaf, Mr. Sound Healer? And so it was a powerful experience. It was a pre-recorded video. And I remember that upon shooting the video and asking for help and asking for support. At the point when I reached up to push the button to upload it, my ear popped open, just right there. I hadn't even put the video out yet. I'd shot it. Of course, it was put out telepathically because when the word is sent forth, it's not something that is exclusive to a video being recorded because the whole universe is hearing. That's the other part of the hearing, not or the healing, that is not only was I helped by you directly in your prayers, but every being in the whole universe that was in alignment with what I was asking for responded and shared. And that's one of the beautiful things, that everything that is shared always has this sacred all-inclusiveness connected to it. I used to struggle around when I shared something with someone and they didn't seem to get it. And I really wanted to be heard. And then I was in the expectation of desperation because they didn't seem to be getting what I was sharing. And then the Most High taught me that sharing is not exclusive to the individual or individuals that I'm sharing with, that is shared with them, but then through them onto the whole universe. And even though one individual that I'm sharing with may not be ready to receive what I'm offering, there may be 10,000 others in the universe ripe and ready for that same message that receive it and are transformed by it. So it's so beautiful and empowering to know that all of my sharings are all inclusive. Even as I share now with you, it doesn't stop with you. It's moving out into the universe, and there's countless other beings in the universe, ripe and ready and resonant with this very message, that receives it, quickened by it, offers their energy to it, and there's this great multiplication of spirit that happens. So, beloved, I am in so much gratitude that we co-created and milked a miracle of healing for me. Thank you so much for your healing prayers. And lastly, I remember an experience years ago when I was in a seminar, and I stood up in the seminar and I was sharing a part of my life, and I was just sobbing as I was sharing. And for the first time, I knew that sobbing was not an expression of weakness, but it was strength, because I was being true to the reality of that moment. That the weakness would have been if I pushed it down, if I disallowed it. But I allowed it to happen. And it was so beautiful to realize that. And there was so much love that came to me as a result of being in the emotional honesty, the sacred guts on the table. So I just champion the idea that when we're needing help and we're needing to be filled up, to really reach out and to know that there is no weakness in that. That in fact, it's a strength, because it is being true to the reality of that moment. Thank you so much for all that you have shared. And I just want to close with a song tone of celebration. Ashe, Amen, Namaste. Hotepin Lakesha Lakin Shalom. Satnam Hariom. Rastafari. Our sacred juices are cooked in infinitely expanding Juicetafari, Blistafari. Gonna always have many miles on our smile, wiggle in our giggle, tingling in our boots, laughter ever after, put in our strut, wings on our butt, always rising up. Up at the top, there's room for all. It's just the bottom that's crowded, y'all. So it is, and so it shall eternally be.